minutes into the act with the Macho Man. He says he is in shape, Sean, but I tend to doubt that he is correct. This is one of the heaviest you will see, the Macho Man, especially from that side view.
Yeah, well, being in shape for Franco DiOrio and in shape for Felix Trinidad are two different things.
And in the silence of his corner is Franco DiOrio from Somerville, Mass. And this is the biggest moment in his career. And he's trying to look for the upset against the big name and to get some more intriguing fights.
Oh, yeah, he remembers Hector Camacho of the 80s, but he says this is no 80s Camacho.
Hector Camacho, three-time world champion. He last went for the welterweight crown. He's now actually fighting as a junior middleweight at 151 pounds. And indeed, he may still be chasing Vinny Pazienza. Camacho and DiOrio as they match up for this fight. The fight here in Mississippi, the main event under these rules. Standing 8 count in effect, 3 knockdown rule in effect. You can be saved by the bell in the final round. And it's the 10-point must-scoring system. And now checking out these two fighters strategically, here's the champ and the blackboard.
On tonight's Boxing Blackboard, brought to you by Head & Shoulders, former 3-time champion of the world, Hector Camacho. Your strengths are what made you champion. Speed with flashy showmanship, your punches in bunches. The many combinations help you control fights. Your weaknesses? Too defensive. Moving without throwing punches gives the illusion of running. And now, Hector, it seems you're losing to the toughest opponent we all face. Age. After 14 years of pro boxing, how much do you have left? Facing Franco DiOrio, you have a lot to prove. Strengths are aggressive. Your strong, busy style give boxers fits. And you have a good chin, never down or out. Your weaknesses? Lack of experience against top-level competition and stamina. The last time you went 10 rounds was in August of '90, and you lost.
Live from Bay St. Louis, Mississippi, Casino Magic to be exact, Budweiser, the undisputed king of beers, in association with Mike Akery Promotions, proudly presents tonight's main event of the evening, scheduled for 10 rounds of boxing in the junior middleweight division. Bienvenidos todos los países latino-americanos. Pongan todas las semanas sus canales a USA Peleas de Noche. Ladies and gentlemen, your matchmaker is Leslie Bonanno, and the judges assigned for tonight's main event of the evening, Chester Como, Fred Steinwinder III, and Billy Moran. In the ring at this time, the man in charge of tonight's main event of the evening, he is referee Elmo Adolf. And now, my good friends, let's meet the principals for tonight's main event. First, boxing to my right out of the red corner. He wearing a black trunks with a white trim and weighing in at 148½ pounds. From Somerville, Massachusetts, this young man with a pro career, 27 wins, 3 defeats, 1 draw, with 20 big knockouts. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Franco Dynamite DiOrio. And his opponent, needing no introduction to worldwide boxing fans, wearing the brown suede trunks, weighed in at a fit, fight and ready, 151 pounds. From Lewiston, Florida, with a fabulous pro career, 44 wins, 3 defeats, 21 of those 44 wins coming by knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, what time is it? He's a 3-time former champion of the world. Put your hands together for the Macho Man, Hector Camacho. Camacho. 10 rounds of boxing in the junior middleweight division. Your referee, Elmo Adolf.
Hi, Frank and Hector, you received your instructions before. I just want to let you know that I want a good, clean, hard fight, okay? I want to caution you as to your blows. I want you to keep them up. I want you to watch your hits. Shake hands now, come out fighting all 3 rounds.
Well, we may have found somebody who has more energy in the ring than Hector Camacho. But there is the Camacho man. Very seldomly have you seen him this large. 151 pounds. Remember, the weigh-in was yesterday, so he may be now walking around in the ring a little closer to 160. And here's a guy who relies on the speed and the quickness and the mobility, which, of course, has not been there of late. Not as much as he is used to in the early years.
What has not been there has been the aggressiveness. He has been extremely defensive, but can't win the fights because of being so defensive.
Camacho, who lives on an Indian reservation in Clewiston, Florida, has for many years. He grew up in New York City in Spanish Harlem, born in Puerto Rico, and had to get away from the surroundings of New York. Too many temptations for him, which really wreaked havoc on his young pro boxing career. On the big Cypress Indian reservation, where he built a training center, and there forging with a left hand against Franco DiOrio, who looks to make this award. DiOrio has never been down in his career.
Yeah, strong, aggressive form boxing, he calls it. He tries to put his head on the chest of his opponent and punch away. So his best punch is the left hook. He is naturally right-handed. There is a right hand from him. Now against the southpaw fighters, you are taught to throw the straight right hand and come back with a left hook. See how Camacho stands? Their front feet will probably be constantly stepping on their opponent's toes. See how close those front feet are? Oh, look at these feints from Macho. DiOrio saw that fight with Felix Trinidad, Camacho's last fight. He said that he does not know what we'll see tonight in Hector Camacho. He believes that Camacho has slowed like he looked in that Trinidad fight. He's not as fast as he once was. And that he still does not have the power. Said that Camacho has not been the same since the Rosario fight.
Yeah, the headbutt here late in the first round, and that is a sentiment that is shared by many fighters, that a defense by Camacho against Rosario left him pretty much gun-shy, really changed him as a fighter, and he lost a lot of bit of his pizzazz, became more defensive in the ring. 10 seconds to go in round number 1, and we'll pause for these words from your local cable systems.
Ring savvy from Hector Camacho. A little slap of the glove. It doesn't hurt, but it sure wakes you up. You're DiOrio.
Franco DiOrio fighting in the New England area. Got a record of 21-3-1 when tragedy struck. A very close-knit family out of Somerville, Massachusetts, and his 18-year-old brother was killed in an automobile accident. Franco kind of lost interest in boxing and just about everything else, and was out of the ring for 2 years. But since coming back, he has rededicated himself. He has won 6 in a row, and he's at a heavier weight. He left the ring at about 140, and now feels better closer to 150, taking the shots from Camacho. And Franco DiOrio has to get a little more busy.
Yeah, not enough punches from him, and see how he's staying back too much? Well, he said he wanted to do that early in this fight, but he says the 4th round I want to push it more. It's still early yet. These men have 10 rounds. Both of them lay out their fight plan in the first 3 rounds. both realize that they have to be adaptable.
Last fight for DiOrio came in February when he beat Clarence Coleman. 8-round decision. Clarence once a good-looking prospect, but has lost it of late. And DiOrio able to take advantage of winning an 8-rounder. Back in January, when Camacho fought Felix Trinidad and lost the 12-rounder for the IBF welterweight championship. Got 5 competitive rounds, then he faded and hardly even attempted to win the fight, just holding on and clinching. And that's why Macho Camacho has never taken the next step. He's always been a boxing star. Everything that is around this fighter, in and out of the ring, but has never stepped up to the superstar status. And again, it goes back to that Rosario fight.
Yeah, definitely not the same fighter now as he was before that. But I tell you, I saw the Trinidad fight, and yes, Trinidad won the fight, but I was so impressed with Hector Camacho. The man is impossible to hit. I know he's too defensive. I know he does not win a lot of these big fights because of that defensiveness, but he is extremely difficult to hit. Well, and if he can turn it around, if he can get to where he can win some of these rounds and win some of these big fights, then I would give him a chance with Pernell Whitaker. I mean, he is very good. It's hard to hit. Good combination from him. Look at, he doesn't waste many punches. He just wasn't throwing the punches with Trinidad. Ismael Leandri, Max Vasquez telling their man, pump the right hand. Keep that right jab going. You know, the right-handed stance will confuse, the left-handed stance will confuse a right-handed fighter if you can get out the end of it. You show him that left-handed stance. Plus, it'll kill his jab. Look now how DiOrio has lost his jab. And you know something, you're taught to work in combinations. If the jab's not working, then a lot of times you can't get that right hand working. You can't get the jab and the right hand working, you can't get the hook working. Could be the problems that Franco is having. And getting hit like that, snapping, crisp punches.
DiOrio coming in looking very tight at 148.5. Looking to bruise, and he's 1 year older than Camacho. He turned pro 10 years ago, 1984, as a lightweight, 136 pounds. And he's still trying to loosen up, get it going. As you had mentioned before, here's Franco DiOrio coming from Somerville, Massachusetts. Not many big names on his ledger, and all of a sudden he's stepping in against a former 3-time world champion.
Yeah, but he thinks this former 3-time world champion is overlooking him and has seen his better days.
And a right hand by DiOrio.
Look at these punches from DiOrio and Camacho. DiOrio lands, Camacho throws 3 before DiOrio can count him. With Camacho, the speed is the problem. It's a big problem. It frustrates you early. It makes you pay for it late.
So another round down, and Macho Camacho and Franco DiOrio go into their...
Made to order for Camacho. But, you know, you never know what a crazy Italian is capable of when he puts his mind to it. So maybe we'll see an entertaining fight if DiOrio picks it up a little bit. But, you know, Camacho has the talent to win, and his talent is slowly evading him. You know, I'm watching him now, and I'm seeing what I would do to this guy now. I would annihilate him. And this isn't the same guy that I was in the ring with. But then again, that was 35 pounds ago. You know, he don't have the heart and soul, Al, to get the job done. He reminds me of that great Calvin Coolidge quote, "The world is full of educated derelicts."
Well, we're saying that he of course has reached star status, but never made it to the superstar status. But at 140, he did decision you in 12 rounds. What do you recall most about that fight with Camacho?
That's all I recall about that fight is losing weight. And bad refereeing. You know, Camacho fought the best fight of his life, and I think after that it was downhill for him.
It was downhill for you, but then uphill.
Oh, yeah, well, you can see that with the opponents that I have had, I think I left them all in the past. I feel like the sole survivor out of that group, you know, way back 5 years ago.
Were you able to give any tips to DiOrio for this fight?
No, I didn't get to talk to Franco before because I didn't know he was fighting Camacho. You know, it just popped up. I heard about it a couple days ago. And if Franco is in good shape and throws combinations, he'll give Camacho a lot of problems.
Yeah,
but it doesn't look like he's in that good a shape.
Vinny, he does say he's in great shape and says that he's going to start working this fight about the 4th round. And here we are in the 4th round. Says that he idolizes Vinny Pazienza and tries to emulate in the ring the Tasmanian Devil style.
Yeah, well, Franco's my boy. You know, he can. He's got a great chin. Only thing I'd like to see him throw a couple more combinations, and I think he'll give Camacho a hard time because he's got that crazy Italian attitude where he doesn't care if he gets hit. And when you got an attitude like that against Camacho, you can take the heart out of him.
Yeah.
So I'd really like to see him do a little bit more, and this will be an entertaining fight.
Yeah, Hector will hit you if you stand there, won't he?
Oh, yeah, and he's hard to hit.
All right.
Vinny, thanks for joining us on the Fightful.
Yeah.
Always great to hear from you.
I'll see you guys next week at Foxwoods. I want to say happy birthday to Tiny, and let's all buckle up and get ready for the Duran fight, because that one's going to be big.
All right, we'll talk to you more about that next week.
Okay, you got it.
Keep
See you guys.
training.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The Tasmanian Devil back home in Rhode Island. Watching in for joining us for this round. As you can tell, a big fan of Hector Macho Camacho.
Yeah, mutual respect, professional respect. And a big fan of Franco DiOrio.
And he's just hoping that Frankie DiOrio just kind of lets it go sometime in this fight.
Yeah, busy. Oh, this is kind of neat. Get your opponent's hands tied up with his own hands, tie them in a knot, and then crank him with a good left hook. Hector Camacho.
Packed them in here at Casino Magic. Looking for his 45th victory. He says he's in shape, but this is not the shape you most remember Hector Camacho. 3 weeks away from his 32nd birthday. Looking ahead, naming Sweet Pete Purnell Whitaker as the man out there he would most like to step in the ring with, although his people now working on an upcoming fight in August for the WBO welterweight crown, where Camacho would face the winner of Manning Galloway and Angel Beltry, who's fighting later in this month for the vacant title. He wants that 4th title. Camacho been banking on the WBO crowns of late.
No holding behind the head and hitting. But Macho turning it up a little bit in this round. They told him between rounds in this corner, they said, you got to pick it up a little bit. Put some more pressure on this man. Throw more combinations. And you see that from Macho. Little ice coming out. Ice came out of the top of the trunks. When they pour ice on your body, it sits in the top of your trunk, right there on your cuff.
Got a slip waved off by Elmo Adolf. Camacho won his first 39 professional fights. First loss to Greg Haugen, 12th rounder for a WBO title, junior welterweight crown. And Camacho lost by 1 point in that fight, and he was penalized a point for not touching gloves at the start of the final round. Camacho, the Dennis Rodman of boxing, rebelling against authority, or is Rodman the Macho Camacho of the NBA?
Well, I think Camacho's been around longer than Dennis Rodman. Although he is, 31, and we are talking about perhaps the end of his career. He's only 31. Oh, and down goes DiOrio again. Once maybe, but twice, and these fans are saying, well, why is he just falling down like that? We haven't seen very many right hands from DiOrio. There is a warning for Camacho.
Well, he's sensing the crowd.
Well, once again, veteran Hector Camacho, watch. Get the break and pull the head down. What do you mean? What do you mean? Says is Hector Camacho. Then at the end of the round, you say, oh, look, sorry about that, ref. I didn't mean to do that. You don't want to make that referee mad at you. You want that referee on your side as much as you can without making it look obvious.
Well, there you see the difference between Camacho and Rodman. I mean, Rodman will stick the leg out and get somebody in the thigh, but certainly would not rub up to the referee after the incident.
And a difference in Hector Camacho now as compared to Hector Camacho of 10 years ago. Had that happened 10 years ago, Hector Camacho might have punched the referee. You know, he was a ball of fire.
Now, Hector Camacho, through 5 rounds, has confused Franco DiOrio, who is not used to this kind of experience against this top competition.
Yeah.
But Hector Camacho is just happy enough with that.
Yeah.
And that's what he has been demonstrating in his fights.
Exactly. And not able to reach that next level in boxing. And it's been, for him, a little bit of a problem since the Rosario fight. Boxing is 90% mental, 10% physical. And he is a wonderful fighter, but he must figure out a way. Somebody must train him to win those bigger fights. And it's got to be somebody that can get Hector's attention, where Hector will listen to them, go out and follow the battle plan precisely.
Hector Camacho was 23 years old when he won his 2nd world title, the lightweight crown from Jose Ramirez. And then in his first defense went up against Edwin Rosario. And in that fight, Rosario cut Camacho in the 4th, buckled his knees in the 5th, hurt him several more times, had him backing up, but Camacho fought on heart and guts and great conditioning and pulled out a split decision.
Whoa.
Shaking up DiOrio.
Good straight left. The added weight. With more weight comes more power.
What's going on here?
Well,
Camacho just walks away. Now he looks to close in. But ever since that time, Camacho was a changed man. He lost his confidence, did not want to get hit anymore, changed his style so he wouldn't get hit, moving more. And never really picked up the pace on the offensive end. Beautiful boxer to watch, but never won the hearts of the fans with the offense.
Never been down, but he almost went down here. Look at this straight left from Macho Camacho, right on the point of the chin. And DiOrio almost kissed the canvas.
Blood along the bridge of his nose. His first question when he got into his corner was, is it broken? I have a feeling he knows what that feels like.
It's the nose.
But DiOrio said he was going to come out and make it a war, and he has not been able to do that. There he gets in a right to Camacho. Fighting on another level tonight.
Yeah. He's had trouble doing that because he cannot match the speed of Hector Camacho. Camacho ties him up when Hector wants to, lets him go when Hector wants to. This is imposing your will on your opponent. Make him fight your match. Make him beat himself. He walks into punches like that. He misses you on shots, stumbles off balance. He gets embarrassed. Nose gets hit. His eyes are swelled up.
Well, Vinny Pazienza had tremendous success when he didn't have to watch his weight, and he rose to different weight classes and seemed to get better and better and stronger and stronger. Can the same hold true for Macho Camacho?
When you can fight as good as, at this level, as good as people as Hector Camacho and Vinny Pazienza, if you can fight at welterweight that good, you can certainly fight at junior middleweight or junior welterweight. And again, 90% mental, 10% physical. Well, you got to be able to handle it mentally, handle the extra weight. Going up the weight, you know, the opponent has the extra weight too. Yeah, you've got extra weight. You believe that you can punch harder. So does he.
Well, how much of this weight and the age, how much has it slowed Camacho down?
The biggest friend that Hector Camacho has had in his boxing career has been his speed. That flash. At a higher weight, he loses that.
Too much of it for him to still be effective?
But not according to that straight left that he hit Franco with the last round. Still has power. His power is different than another man's power. His power is a snap.
Well, we're talking about World Championship caliber.
Yeah, but remember,
Sweepy Whitaker that Camacho's talking about.
Yeah, he was a world champion at 135. He's not proven that he can perform at championship level as a junior welterweight or a welterweight or a junior middleweight. And that's why I'm saying, once you get into a position like Hector Camacho, it is more difficult because now you know how to fight already. Somebody tries to come in and teach you how to fight. What can you teach Hector Camacho? It's got to be somebody who knows that upper level of boxing, who's been there and who knows what goes on mentally.
Hector Camacho turning it up here at Casino Magic against Franco DiOrio. They have broken DiOrio's nose in the 7th round, and Franco DiOrio has to turn it up. Pretty soon he's going to have to take chances, even though he can't crack through the style of Camacho. And something like that, that's what he said he wanted to do. Well, you know one thing he found out about Camacho was that he is not just trying to, he's not taking DiOrio for granted. He's not going through the motions tonight. First fight for Camacho since January 29th, when he lost a 12-round IBF welterweight title fight to Felix Trinidad. There were 5 young fighters on the scene. Not too long ago, you remember Camacho at that age busting onto the professional boxing scene, and at that time his dreams of becoming a mega star, and he certainly had all the tools, flashy, colorful, Sugar Ray Leonard credentials. But the lifestyle in the fast lane, costly for Macho Camacho, never allowed him to move up to that next level, or the ultimate level of boxing.
Good left hook from DiOrio. Needs more of them. Remember how effective that right hand was that last round? Wide sweeping right hand. If he could put that right hand together with a left hook, DiOrio could do some damage. Well, there he's tried. What a difference in DiOrio this round as compared to the last. Remember in that 7th round, he was fighting on his heels, kind of in a shell, going backwards. This round, moving forward. When you're moving forward with your punches, you have your weight behind your punches. But it's discouraging to do against somebody like Camacho because he's so fast, he just whips around behind you.
Not only is Franco DiOrio taking a major step up in a competition level, he's going up against a former 3-time world champion who also happens to be a southpaw.
Yes.
And unfortunately for Franco, he did not take that phone call from Vinny Pazienza before the fight.
Pazienza, one of the nicest guys in boxing. Outside of you, Al. Hey!
And it's round number 9. The guy with the M is the Macho Man. 32 years old on May 24th. And feels as if boxing is still his career.
Well, they're going to pull some of that tape off. When these fighters sweat gets underneath the tape and it comes loose.
Maybe Macho might be working his way towards that crowded and very colorful middleweight division.
Well,
very low key tonight.
yes, he is, isn't he? Yes, he is. He is a different, he's a changed Macho Camacho. Very low key. Even in speaking with him yesterday, he was not brash. He was very gentlemanly. He wasn't like he had been in the early 80s.
And for the first time in his career, Franco DiOrio hits the canvas, and he certainly makes the most of it with a little bit of flip right back up, and he is very upset at himself.
Well, there's nobody to blame but yourself when you're down there on the canvas. Quick punches from Camacho.
And that came with the speed of the shot. Very rarely has DiOrio gotten in and tagged Camacho. Break there by Elmo Adolf, fine referee in this area.
Good combination again from Camacho. What Hector's trying to do is time Franco coming in. Hector's trying to set down now. Remember earlier he was tying up. He thinks that now is the time for DiOrio to go.
DiOrio wondering why
Good combination from DiOrio.
And there's the right by DiOrio, the knockdown picking him up.
Yeah, you're not going to catch Hector Camacho with one sucker punch. You got to put 2 and 3 punches together. He's too elusive for one shot.
We actually did the only fight in which Camacho was down on the canvas, to our memory, back in June of 1988. On a card with a comebacking heavyweight by the name of George Foreman.
Super Fights weekend in Atlantic City.
Camacho came back to beat Reyes Cruz in a 10-round decision, and he was down very early in that fight. 44 wins, 3 defeats, 350 rounds of boxing for Camacho coming in to this one.
Busy 9th round for Hector Camacho. DiOrio trying to match punch for punch with him. Whenever any part of your body touches the canvas besides the soles of your feet, it is a knockdown. And there they are. Down he goes. And over he goes. Once again, DiOrio trying to press the attack. Hector Camacho, crack. That's a knockdown.
Let's go, Connor!
DiOrio got himself off balance. He may have hit some kind of a wet spot, and he certainly did not want that blemish on his record of ever hitting the canvas. And now he's going to have to hit Camacho. He needs the knockout. He needs the miracle home run ball here in the 10th round. And Camacho knows that this is in his back pocket. The crowd now getting behind DiOrio. That definitely a slip. Chanting Franco, Franco. And Camacho knows he has 3 minutes to play with and to get to the final bell. And this is his decision. And he knows that DiOrio will be coming on strong. And DiOrio backs Camacho into the corner. Camacho, almost as well as anyone, knows how to survive a 10th round.
Oh, yeah.
Round.
Look at the punches that land from DiOrio compared to the punches of Camacho. Something at this level where DiOrio wants to be, you cannot waste any shots. You have to make every punch thrown land.
The crowd is into it. Combination by DiOrio.
That left hook landed.
He wishes he started and picked up this pace a little earlier. This is corner goes. And now a point being taken away from Hector Camacho. The crowd has really gotten into this one.
That's for pulling behind the head from Camacho.
Kind of wish this was a scheduled 12-rounder now. I guess none of that fluttering up by Hector worked on Elmo Adolf. Adolf may have to delay this. And he does it himself. Here's the time remaining in the final round. Camacho is tying up, gets the headbutt in the chin.
All right, much ahead. We don't have much time to go. This is Casino. Good left hook again.
Camacho's
Left hook.
going to the body is DiOrio. Unless he comes up with a big punch just too late for Franco DiOrio, he has really made this a splendid round. We'll try to talk to Hector Camacho following this fight. That should be it. One knockdown in the fight. DiOrio for the first time in his 32-fight career.
Got back in the 8th round, and then he was staggered back in the 6th round and almost put down.
Oh!
But he comes out strong this final round. Good round for DiOrio.
Let's ask him if he'll go another round or two. And if and when Camacho is announced as the winner, the crowd here will most likely boo the decision. We'll get that decision when we return.
How does a rock star?
Welcome back to Casino Magic. We have the decision. Let's go up to the ring in Gordon Wood.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 action-packed main event rounds of boxing, here's the scoring by judges as follows. Judge Fred Steinwinder, the third, scores about 97-92. Judge Billy